or give me a like or something so I know that it's going through. I only ask because I've heard of so many people going live and then it not going anywhere or something being wrong with the actual recording. So just want to make sure. But I do have, I see 5 of you already on here. I see that the post is on my phone as well. So I'm going to assume that you can hear me and see me. And oh, I see a comment. Okay, great. So just let me know if at any point you can't hear me or anything, then we'll go from there. Okay, great. I'm gonna go ahead and dive in. Sorry, it takes a little longer for the connection from the Zoom to into the Facebook group. So I'm gonna start prepping earlier tomorrow and Thursday and Friday so that I can start exactly at 11 Central. So I apologize that I'm a couple minutes behind. But let's go in. Today's going to be a lot shorter than yesterday because we did cover a bit of some of the stuff that would be helpful, like considering coming across confident. A lot of it comes between or comes behind being prepared. So some of that is like reiterated in today's, but then I also have a really big thing that's super unique to what I actually did for clients, big artist clients for a long time, that I think will be really, really, really helpful. So I'm excited to share that. And then also we'll have a new homework assignment. I've already seen some of the homework assignment that everyone sent in. I'm so impressed, honestly. I don't even know if we needed the camera confidence because you guys looked so comfortable on camera. I was really impressed. So I'm going to go ahead and switch into the presentation and we'll just dive in for today. And then I'll give you a little extra time because this lesson's a little bit shorter. And then that way we have more time for the homework assignment today, which I'm so excited for. Okay, I'm recording. Let me share my screen. I hope everyone's doing all right. We got yesterday it was super dreary here in Nashville, so I am happy that at least the sun is out. Okay, as that opens up, we are on day 2. Wow, okay. So I'm excited. Today we're going to talk filming tips, which I mentioned. I already kind of went over the spiel of why video marketing in yesterday's presentation. So if you're just joining us today or you missed yesterday's, feel free to watch it on just by scrolling to the previous post. And then also, if you would prefer to have these presentations are recorded, I send the deck and I sent the video. So if you want access to that just for like easy reference in your inbox, then just make sure you scroll to the post about registering. I think it's maybe 3 posts down. And then that way I have your email on hand and I can make sure that you get these daily. But let's dive in. So I'm going to kind of cover a few of the housekeeping things we talked about yesterday. I have some fun giveaways to talk about in a second. All of this week is in preparation of a larger course, but so that's in promotion of that, and this is just a small dose, but I do want to share that my goal always is to help as many people as possible. So the goal for this challenge is that you leave this week with enough resources and enough guidance and strategy to get you going. And then if you need extra support, know that I have courses and different services offered to you. I truly, truly want to help you. And I like to customize as much as possible, but by having courses, I'm able to reach more people with that as well. So that's helpful. But know that all of this week is free. Everything is to try and hopefully give you enough that you can at least start moving and grooving on your own. And then we'll go over the giveaways, which I just mentioned. And then today we're talking filming. And then at the end, you will have a little assignment. Of course, it's optional, but my goal and the reason for having these is instead of if you've been like me watching courses or trainings, I'm always like, I want to do it right. So I'll just watch all of the videos and then I'll really know. And then that way I'll go back, but you never do. And honestly, it's better to do them piece by piece because then it's fresh. You have all the information locked in your brain. So the goal is to give you a little bit each night that's going to move this along. And hopefully it's not too overwhelming, but by the end of this, you'll have content that you can use immediately, if not even throughout this week. And what's nice about that is you're going to, in real time, by actually doing it, learn the process. It's going to be that much easier to replicate because it's one thing to hear it, but then to actually go through the process yourself is going to be more helpful for you. Okay, I'm just going to go over these first 3 slides, which is just about the prizes. Just to reiterate, I do have a referral prize. So this is our big our big prize. So at the end of these 5 days, I will pick one person, and all you have to do to qualify for this is be the person that refers the most people to this group. So my goal is to just reach as many people as possible in this challenge. So your friends, your colleagues, your neighbors, your babysitters, whatever it may be, just send them the link to this group. I'll put in the description in this days as well, the link you can just click, send it to them. You can send it text, email, whatever. I also had it in yesterday's description too, but that's all you have to do. If they come to the group, then they will have an option to say at the end, where did they hear about the group? And if you were referred, say who referred you. So then I'll look for your name, but you also can message me at Marissa Began on any platform or in here and just let me know, hey, I invited 5 people. These are their names. So that way, if they come in, if they forget or don't say that you referred them, I'll know as well. So either one. And by the end of the week, if you refer the most people, then you get a 90-minute strategy session with me. It can be on any platform. It can be on a collection of platforms. We can go over the next 90 days, 6 months of what you want to do. We can go over struggles, hurdles. It can be real-time training, anything. There are no restrictions in that. And then also $400 off the video marketing method. Of course, you do not have to use that, but that is an option for you, and it is the largest discount that I'll be giving. So it is open to you if you would like it. And then you also get a choice of one of the 3 classes that I do have, or courses that I do have already available for free. You can just choose whichever one you want. They're differently priced. So you can go for the highest one. You can go for one you don't have, and you get access immediately. Then the next prize is a participation prize. All you have to do is like, comment on these posts, ask questions, or you also can tag me on social media. So whether it's Instagram stories, Facebook, Twitter, you can write anything online as long as it reaches me. My handle is at Marissa Began. Then I'll know and I'll tally those at the end of the week. And then you get a 60-minute social media strategy session. Again, the only limit is the time, and everything outside of that, we can talk about anything under the sun. You will get a form prior, so I can ask you a couple questions, get an idea. That way I can come to the meeting with a little bit more background on you and maybe what your goals are. And then you will leave with a virtual document that you can print, that you can have. It's going to be a template that you can use, rinse and repeat ongoing. So hopefully that'll be really helpful. And then the last one, I haven't shared which team you're on, but it's going to be by first name alphabetically. So I'll put that in the description today. I'm just dividing you into teams. And by the end, just whoever's on teams is the team with the most homework assignments turned in wins a group coaching call. So that is what that prize is. Okay, enough about that. Let's dive into the filming tips for today. So I mentioned this a little bit, a couple of these first ones that we did talk a little bit in yesterday's live, but I did want to reiterate a couple of them in case you are hearing this for the first time. And just as you start to plan for your homework assignment later, you can kind of go, okay, here are the things to focus on for today. I'm already confident based on yesterday's tips and tricks, and you already recording your homework assignment. So then now today is going to be a little bit of a bigger ask for your homework assignment. But I just wanted to reiterate, I think I want to mention this multiple times because this truly is the reason that a lot of people hold back on not filming content, video specifically, is they always think, and I was this way too, I've shared my story on it, and maybe I will in a second too, of thinking we need expensive equipment to be able to make quality videos. And I don't disagree that it definitely can help the quality for sure, but in the social media game, it is truly more of a game of numbers than it is focusing solely on quality. If you focus solely on quality and could only get out one post a week, even if it was the most high quality, you are going to have a tougher time to actually build that organic reach and growth, period. It doesn't matter the quality if you're not posting enough. And so truly the reason why I push that, if you have an iPhone, if you have an Android, if you have anything with a camera, like you have your equipment, that's all you need. Whether it's an old camera that you got one of your kids one time, or again, your cell phone, use what you have. Even if I have a camera and I'll use it for certain pieces, but also don't underestimate how easy it is to just grab your phone and have something portable. When you start having to lug around even like a medium-sized camera, it becomes more of an inconvenience. So therefore, you're less likely to film. It's more of a risk, just carrying it around. You want to be careful. And if you just spent a lot of money on a camera, and the last thing you want is it to get stolen or broken or anything like that. Phone's a little more durable. They've withstand everything. So just being able to quickly film, and again, like I said, quantity is a little bit more important than quality in these cases when we're dealing with social media. So all I want to reiterate is don't let that be an excuse. I will cover in a second gear that you can get if you feel that that is something that'll be helpful. But another reason, not only being quick and it being an excuse that a lot of people just feel crippled by, is that the equipment can actually hurt you sometimes more than it can help. And what I mean by that is exactly my personal story, but this is something that happens to a lot of people. Is I felt when I started my first YouTube channel, I was like, okay, I have to have a good camera, and then I have to have good lighting. But my issue was I didn't know anything about cameras, and then I didn't know anything about lighting, and then I also didn't have any money, but I couldn't make money until I made this content, which investment. But then I didn't know anything about editing or filming. And so what had happened was, instead of me just trying to figure out even just to use a few things with my phone, I was so concerned and consumed with saving up to buy a camera. So then that prolonged the amount of time I could have been filming. Then once I purchased the camera, I was kind of in the hole for a minute. The cameras aren't always, and then this was, I was early in college years, so it wasn't like I was rolling in the dough. And then, once you have it, there's a whole new world of technical issues that you could run into. And so, again, for someone who doesn't have the background, now I was like having to figure out and read manuals and watch tutorials and figure out how to use that camera, not including all the time I spent researching, trying to figure out what camera to buy. So now we're looking at, months and months and months of time that could have been spent just trying and figuring it out, even if not all those videos saw the light of day. Because at this point, I've now not wasted, but I kind of have 6, 8 months not even filming a single video. And the way you build a YouTube channel is by consistently posting. So there's no way I can even build growth here. And then even as I started to get the hang of a few things, I was like, okay, make it easy. I'll do all the default settings. I'll just find good lighting, and I'll be good to go, right? Well, then sometimes the camera would just stop recording, and I wouldn't have known until I had been talking for 45 minutes and only recorded the first minute and a half. Or the battery died and I didn't even know that light meant that. Or maybe it filmed perfectly, it looked great, and then by the time I uploaded it to my computer, I had some type of tech issue and it said your file is corrupt. And I'm like, what? How do I do this? Why is it corrupt? Now I have to refilm, or can I salvage this? So now I'm spending more time trying to figure that out. I'm spending more time trying to figure out how to use editing software that, like Final Cut Pro, which is an editing software, is robust and incredible if you know how to use it and you plan to learn how to use it. For someone who was trying to do the bare minimum until I could have someone else take care of that, I was running into more issues and it was more complicated than what my brain could focus on. And so now you can start to understand how it just starts to add up, and it became this big thing that if I wanted to film a YouTube video, it was so daunting that I was like, okay, realistically, it's probably going to take me 8 hours to do one video. And that just slowly deterred me from filming, made me feel discouraged, and then sometimes looked even worse quality because I wasn't confident. I was always scared that the camera was going to go off, that something wasn't going to work, or then there was something in the background that I didn't even realize because the screen is so small. So all of that, I'm not trying to deter you from getting gear if that is something you're interested in, but my recommendation is that don't let it stop you. Even if you want a camera, focus on now for these next 30 days, or while you're saving up, or while you are researching for equipment, and just get started, because then your quality will improve and people like to see that progression. But don't let it stop you from just starting. And then also, these tips on gear, you don't have to go crazy, especially if it's just you. A ring light you can get, I mentioned this yesterday, this is $5. It just has a tiny little tripod stand, $5 from Five Below. And that's perfectly Good. You can do that. Another thing is you can get a higher step ring light if you want. $20 on Amazon. There's ones upwards of 50 or 60. Any of those are more than fine, more than fine. So if you really do want a ring light, then that can be helpful. Box lights, there are good deals on Amazon if you are trying to do more box lighting, meaning these are just very large boxes that have kind of like a cover on them that soften the light, and typically you can buy them in sets of like 2 or 4, and then that way you can really hit both sides and you're not overshadowed. So even those like don't tend to be too expensive, again probably in that like 60 to 100 range, potentially, how depending on how high quality you want to go. I would say that this type of lighting is helpful if like if you have a 9 to 5, if you have no access to like being able to film during the day and nighttime is really your jam or where you have to film, and I get that, and that's totally fine. That's where I think these lighting options really do help, because the lighting is very imperative to your video looking good. And visually, we care more, even as a consumption on social media, sometimes more about how it looks, even over the audio. Like that's going to capture our attention first because we're visual, and then sometimes we don't even listen to the audio. You know, if we have subtitles, we'll just kind of watch. So the lighting definitely is important. But I will say that even if you have lighting, good lighting, more times than not, the natural lighting of a window can really help. I'm not going to dive too much into lighting because we did talk about that yesterday, and I don't want to reiterate something I've already shared with you, for the people who are here consistently and want new tips. But just keep that in mind. Use any of these lighting options, or find a window. Find one spot in your house or at someone else's house where a window is in front of you, and then something behind you is somewhat not distracting and somewhat pleasant to look at. You just don't want anything moving like a screen or a TV that's on, anything like that, that people are going to be focused on that instead of you. That's lighting. That's my spiel on lighting. Now let's talk equipment. For a camera, if you would like a camera, a DSLR would be a perfect option. It can be a Canon DSLR, or any of the other brands that you prefer. You can do your own research too. I'm just sharing one that has worked for me and other people who have created content with it. And this one is really geared towards being good for photos and for video. So if that's something that you're trying to consider and you want to take photos for your YouTube thumbnails, you want to take awesome fashion photos also for your Instagram or your stories or product photos, then this is a great camera for both of that, for both of those things, filming and photos. And then what's nice about, actually I have mine, I'll show you. I have it right here. So this is the camera, and this is a Canon DSLR. So see how it's still a good size, but it still is much larger. Like I can't fit this in most of my purses, nor would I want to just put this in a purse. And then if you put it in the camera case, then you're starting to carry something like much bigger around. So just for the impromptu, like if you were going out and you know you're filming content, you know you're doing like a photo shoot, then this baby is perfect. But let's say that you do want to capture some stuff on the go in real time, vlog style, whatever it may be, that's when your phone can be really helpful. Or something smaller like a point and shoot camera, which is mentioned in the bullets below, is much smaller. It's more of like a handheld that you could just whip out. You definitely could put in a purse, in a pocket, if you needed to just grab it on the go. GoPros also, it's not listed there, definitely has much more of a wider capture, and it's typically more for movement and sports related clips, but not, I've seen plenty of people film great videos outside of those categories on GoPros as well. So that's also an option. But I wanted to show this because you actually can just get a mic attachment. So I have foil on this because this cord that came with it is not like the greatest quality. So ideally I'll probably switch this cord out, but I found online that I was getting like some muffling noise. That's not even correct, but anyways, someone said to crinkle some tin foil on it. So it looks a little ratchet, but it worked. It actually helped. And so this is separate. This did not come with the camera, at least when I purchased it. And it just goes right on top of the camera as an attachment. And then this way it's directional. So it's going to pick up whatever you're speaking into. So if the camera is facing you. We're talking super basic stuff here though. So you can, if you are someone who's savvy with cameras or lighting, then you're probably like, okay, yeah, this is very common. But my whole goal here is to simplify. So I want to give you like a little taste of how you could amplify it if you want, but also none of that is a necessity to get started for social media. Now, for YouTube, I will say that those, if you were trying to build a YouTube channel, that's sometimes where people then eventually want to invest in a camera like that or something slightly bigger or more expensive than just their phone. But again, do not use that as an excuse to not get started. A lot of people, especially now with the phone's capabilities, film on their cameras too, or on their phone if they have to. And if you're on the go and doing vlogs as well. All right, I'm being mindful of our time today. I also wanted to share another ring light option is this baby I showed yesterday. The battery's like dying, so it's pretty non-existent, but this is something you can just clip onto your phone. If you are on the go, you could put it in your purse and be able to do that quickly. Also, another thing that I do have here that might be worth sharing is there are little phone camera attachments. Ow, my finger got stuck. Where you actually can put little lens attachments to on your phone. Here they are. So this little baby is called the Smart and Easy. I think it's like iPhone camera lenses. And I don't know if you can see this, but basically these are just like little camera lenses, and then it comes with a clip. So this clip, clearly I did not plan to show all of this, otherwise I would have had it out. But basically you can take any of these lenses, this one has a cap on it, and so it looks like just a tiny little miniature camera lens, and then you screw it into this part of this clip here. And then what it allows you to do is just on your phone over the camera, you can then clip, oh, I can't even see this. You can clip where your camera lens is, and now if you were to record, you could then see a different lens. And so even that could amplify it. There's a fish lens in here, which kind of gives you that circular, rounded, cool vibe, especially for photos, could be fun. But then some of these are more, I'm losing everything, are more basic, but and these are from a couple years ago, so they're probably even better options now if you even wanted to amplify your phone content. So again, don't let any of this be an excuse. I think this was $10. And then I did want to show even something like this is just a really simple, I think this was also $10 or $12 off Amazon, a simple tripod, and then it comes with this attachment, which goes on this way, and then this way I can have my phone in it, whichever way that I want, vertical or horizontal, or I can take this off like I have, and then I also can attach right on here the camera. So my DSLR, I can attach onto this too if I just wanted a small little tripod on a desk or a table. That way I could quickly film as well. So I just wanted to show a couple of those options, and there are even more if you look online, I'm sure. So don't let any of the equipment be a reason you don't start creating content. And then the last thing I'll say about mics too is even if you want something, again, super small to enhance your phone audio, is you could get like a $12 or anything less than 20 lav mic, a lavalier mic, which just clips onto your clothes. You probably see these in like interviews, very casual interviews, even like news people, if they're interviewing someone on the street and they don't have a handheld or something, they might just hook them up with a lavalier mic or something. And then that way you can just clip it to your clothes, and it's directional, so it's going to pick up your audio as well. And then I have one that just clips right into my phone, and it saves into a voice memo. And so then here, I mean, we'll go into detail tomorrow on editing, but then I could just save that memo, that audio memo, and then upload it to an iMovie or something, or even an app, which I talk about tomorrow. And then you can just put the visual on top of that, and then pull the audio from the camera or the phone down. And then now you have the audio that went through the microphone, if that makes sense. So just know that those are options for you, and those are all really, really cheap. So just start thinking about that. If you want to slowly amplify it, then that's great. And of course, if you are a business owner or you're a musician, there are certain cases like for music videos or product videos that sometimes you do want to amplify. But here's what I would say is spend your money on paying like people or great videographers that could like rent awesome equipment for the day or a half day for those 1 or 2 or 3 videos you need that look really awesome. Have someone else just knock it out of the park. That's where your money should go. And then buy this other stuff that's like more budget friendly that you can do on your own. Because again, more times than not, the quantity is more important than quality here. I want you to look and sound good, don't get me wrong, but again, people want to just consume from you. And we're used to our phone quality, so it's not deterring you from getting engagement. I promise you that. Okay, next thing, we talked about natural lighting and being in front of a window. That's going to be key more than anything in the world, honestly. So just find that good lighting, that little glow. If you are using your phone, you can always add a filter too, which is helpful. But if you also want, it is sometimes nicer to film, I don't know if this is obvious, to film in your actual camera on your phone rather than within an app. So one thing we'll talk about tomorrow is filming like just with the camera button on your phone or taking photos that way, and then adding a filter like a preset for your photos, or adding video filters, because it's going to keep more of the full resolution of the video a little bit more than when you're filming within these platforms, or you're taking photos once you're logged into Facebook and trying to take a photo or a video. The quality tends to be a little bit less. So that's just also a small little tip. Another small tip, do not underestimate the power of wiping your lenses before you film. I have so many, and of course, like now I'm not gonna be able to find it and my drawer won't open, but I have so many of those like cloths that you use to wipe your glasses, you know, that can be used for also your phone and everything, or your camera lens. But get a couple of those. I thought I had one to show you, but I cannot find it. But having those around are really helpful. I mean, even like a tissue or something can help, but just find something to wipe your camera, because especially if you're using your phone, the amount of times like you touch it, you move it, you drop it, it does get pretty like dirty and grimy quickly. So having like something quickly that you can wipe it. Your camera lens is the same way, the way we like touch and dust accumulates and stuff, but same with your actual camera too. Wiping that lens is going to be really helpful every time. It just kind of freshens up the look, and the last thing you want is to have a weird smudge or something the whole time, the whole video, because then that's all you're going to see. So just again, as like a little check every time. And then fit check. We talked about a little bit about this yesterday too, but once you start filming, you're on a roll, and if you get that perfect video, there's nothing worse than watching it back and seeing something that shouldn't be in the background, like, you know, a package that has your address on it, or a huge mess, or a hair doing something super weird, your clothes or your bra strap hanging out, or something that like maybe you don't want, or is then an eyesore. So before you film, I talked about this, doing kind of like a little test run and filming and going like check, 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 you know, kind of moving in different ways so that you can go back, watch that 5-second, 10-second clip and make sure everything visually looks good. There's nothing behind you, your hair, your makeup, if you wear makeup or you're doing something, and then your outfit looks okay. Because it's just better to check that before and then know that there's no issues, because there are some things you can't edit out. So I just wanted to remind people of that. Okay, next, write it out. This we also mentioned yesterday, but I have to reiterate, because now that's going to help being confident, but this is crucial for filming. So, I mentioned you could just have it on a sticky note. If you're going live, I love just quick sticky notes, because then I can honestly just refer to them quickly if I need to. But then if I am doing something more just straight to camera and I don't really have room for some like lag time or for my brain to catch up, then I might just like write it out or look at it, really get it sunken in, and then, you know, 1, 2, 3, here we go. And then also, I mentioned this, I don't think I put it on here, but this is another tip if you're going to be filming. If you're trying to find the best take and you're just filming all the way through, I prefer to sometimes just film multiple things or multiple takes in one. Like if I mess up, then I'll just keep it rolling and I'll just like clap my hands so that the audio spikes. So when I go to edit, it's going to be easier to find after that. And then I dive back in. Hey, I'm Marissa. Welcome to my channel, whatever it may be. That's going to be helpful too as you're filming. So and editing. If you just want to keep the camera rolling the whole time and then just kind of clap in between takes until you have like the best take. It also helps you kind of stay in that mode. So if you just messed up one word, just clapping and then jumping right back in, it helps you stay more on track rather than ending it, going, oh, I messed it up. Okay. Then thinking about it again, then turning it back on, and then instantly there's this added pressure, and then maybe you're more likely to mess up again. So just consider that too as maybe a way to lessen the amount of edits and mishaps you might have. Okay, here's the big tip of the day: a content shoot. Content shoot list I should have written out. But this is something that I did for clients, artists specifically, when artists and musicians traveled a lot pre-COVID. You're constantly on tour, you're on radio tour, you're city to city, you're having to meet a lot of the partners and everything. So it is crucial sometimes when we did have access to them to just knock out as much content as possible, because their days, even when they were traveling, didn't have a lot of wiggle room for all this content filming. And more times than not, if it was a lot of stuff that we could help them with, then relying on them trying to get it right or thinking about all these things, and then us having to go back and forth because, there's your address is in the background, or your shirt was flipped up the whole time, like the collar, then stuff like that, we would have wasted their time and our time going back and forth trying to get it perfect. So a content shoot is really helpful in this case, but writing out everything that you need. So in courses I have Funnel Your Content and Level Up. I talk about content inspiration, different ways you can think of content to film, which maybe I might do like a mini lesson or share something on that to help you guys get inspired on what content to film. But our goal really is that we're not focusing so much on what type of content is most helpful and just how to film it and how to get through it and optimize it this week. But I talk about all those ways that you can have inspiration and find the right type of content to film and to create. And then what I do every time still to this day is just sometimes just on a piece of paper, I just bullet list every single piece of content that I know I need to film. Now, this is separate from like a running list that I have digitally, that if I ever get a random spurt of inspiration, or if I like someone's TikTok and it's trending, or Instagram reel, then I might like plug those links and be like, I should film something like that, but my own twist on it. So that's like an ongoing running list forever. That's digital, and I have that somewhere else. I'm talking about, okay, I work a 9 to 5, or the only time I have to film is Saturday, so I'm going to maximize my time here. I know I need to film 3 ads because we have a product release. I need to film some promo Instagram stories. I need to film, I need to take some photos too, some new headshots or some stuff for banners. And then I also need to create 2 YouTube channel videos. And then, I have an IGTV series. I don't know, whatever it is, your brain is going, you have all these ideas. So what I want you to do is just brain dump all of those things that you need to film. Maybe the series, you have 2 YouTube videos because you're doing 2 a month. Then you have an Instagram story series, 4 weeks, you're doing 1 a week for that same month. Then you have, your promos, your ads, everything like that. So you list it all out, and then I want you to organize it now. Now you're going to organize it by kind of category. So how I like to do it, and how just through practice and with other clients too, I've found that it's helpful to group the small ones together. So all the ads, knocking them out when you're in that like ad promo mindset. Same with Instagram stories, kind of knocking those all together out. And I like doing those all in the beginning for 2 reasons. One, you're fresh, and ads really perform best when you are bringing enthusiasm, you're excited, and they're honestly not fun. If you're having to do any type of ads, there's a lot of pressure to them. Sometimes it's like I have 15 seconds to basically convince someone to buy something of mine or to be interested in me, or even if you're an artist, we would have to do a lot of liners, which means like calling out radio stations or calling out different things. And so sometimes they get mundane, right? So I love to do those first, just get them out of the way. Then it feels like you got the annoying one out of the way and you're done. And then also by the time you get all of those Instagram stories done, maybe you have 10, you're doing small things all together. But now within 15 minutes or 10 minutes, you've filmed like 12 pieces of content, right? So then it's also an energy boost and you're like, okay, because think of it the reverse way. If you were to film your 2 YouTube videos first, sometimes if they didn't go as planned, or maybe you forgot to record or something was wrong and you had to refilm, now this time you've filmed one, maybe one and a half, maybe both videos, and you're exhausted, you're mentally drained, you're frustrated, you feel a little defeated. Now all having to do 12 other videos or more feels like a lot. So I really do love doing that when I'm fresh, when everyone else is fresh, we knock it out. Then we kind of feel like we're getting stuff done, we feel good. And then, so just group those things together, group those IGTV series together, because then it also helps you if you're doing series, go, okay, week 1, we're talking about strategy. Week 2, we're talking about product release. Week 3, we're talking about blah, blah, blah. You kind of have a good idea of where you're leaving off rather than filming it week by week and being like, so last week, I think I mentioned, did I do this? I don't know. And then one note here, if you are doing series, I don't think people personally care as much as they used to, but definitely if you want to, you can also just change your top or change your whole outfit in between those. So typically ads, not a problem. Those can all be in the same one, same outfit, because they're going to be sent to, keep people in on repeat a little bit. Totally fine. Stories, if you know that you're going to have 3 of these on one day, 5 of these on one day, then of course you could do that. And what you could do is kind of group a few of these together by outfit. So maybe you do 5 Instagram stories and then 2 of the IGTVs, or 1. And then you change outfits. You finish the Instagram stories and you do another 3 to 5. And then you do another 1 or 2 of the IGTV series. So that way it looks like maybe it was filmed on a different day, but also I really don't think people care as much. We're constantly looking for quality consumption. And now with also TikTok being a platform that does require more daily posting, people are getting more and more used to seeing, hey, they wore that outfit for the last 4. Yeah, because they're 15-second videos and they probably filmed them back to back right away. So I think the concept of it used to be that you didn't want to show you were filming it all at once, and now I think it's more of a normal thing, so people don't care. And so then ending with kind of either the big ones or kind of the lengthwise long ones, only because then if you get everything else done and say you run out of time, then it's a lot easier to just be like, okay, tomorrow I just need 15 minutes to just film one YouTube video. And then it just becomes a little bit easier of like a task to knock out, right? But again, with any of those, just make sure not only are you planning and grouping these together, I love having a schedule, like put a time frame on it, because then you're like trying to race the clock, and you know that if you have 10 ads to do, well, that's a lot. If you have 3 ads to do, give yourself like 5 or 10 minutes. That's it. And that be your goal to finish that. To finish recording them. You don't have to like have them all done. And then, okay, you have 15 Instagram stories to do. Like give yourself less than 10 minutes on your schedule. Okay, now you have your Instagram story series. Maybe you got to change clothes. Maybe you got to get some props. Maybe you have a makeup setup or something, or you're doing tutorials. So think about that too in your timing. Okay, you're going to give this Instagram story series because there's 4 and they're all going to be 60 seconds. And you might have to edit clips. You need to set up your workspace or whatever. So maybe you give that one like 45 minutes, right? You want to keep it realistic, but you also want to kind of give yourself like almost the exact amount of time you'll need, because then that way you are going, okay, boom, I got it done. Or maybe you're a tiny bit behind, but then that way you're moving right along. The times when we didn't have a time schedule and we just kept it, hey, we just need to do all these, we found that we were like talking in between more. We took longer for transitions to change outfits and all of that. And then by that, slowly, you're just getting more and more exhausted. And then if you don't like how the video turned out, then you have to refilm sometimes. And that's what we want to avoid. So gather everything you need, have it in one place. So even the night before, if you know you're going to film, like plan out all of your outfits, right? Have them ready to go, even with the jewelry laid out. Have, your props all in the location if you can. If you can't and you're going to someone's house or you're doing a partnership or whatever it is, then obviously sometimes you can't and you just have to bring everything, and that's okay. But just try and plan as much as possible. It's going to help. And then the whole key here is filming as many things as possible, because then now filming doesn't feel so worrisome because you can just knock them all out. And then also you are done almost for the month. And then tomorrow we'll talk about how you can batch edit everything and kind of move them through stage 1, 2, 3, and then they're all ready to go. And you have this folder of just all approved, gorgeous, high energy, beautiful videos and photos. Take breaks in between though, like I said, film those smaller clips together, stick to that schedule. That's gonna be really key. Okay, now it's your turn. So today's assignment is a little bit bigger. Don't be scared. I want a 3 to 5 minute video. You can hit that 3 button, like as soon as it's 3 minutes or even close to, then call it. That's totally fine. But I want this to be something that I can show you tomorrow how to edit. And then Thursday, I can show you how to take that one video and we can chop it up into multiple pieces. And then you can use that for multiple posts across your platforms. So that's why we want really like a 2 to 5, a 3 to 5 minute video. So we have something substantial to pull clips from. Okay. So that's why it's going to be that length. Yesterday, hopefully that 15 to 30 second was like a breeze for you. But again, don't put so much pressure on this today, even. If you need to, if you are working a 9 to 5 and you don't have access to good lighting or something, you could just film it however you need to film it. This doesn't have to be something you post. Or you can use this as an opportunity to be like, okay, this is going to be my YouTube video for next week. This is going to be my Instagram or IGTV for next week, my Facebook video, whatever it is. So you definitely can take this super seriously and have this be something that I'm going to show you the next few days how to chop up, use, and then now you have access. But also if you're feeling like pressured, then just talk for that much time, get confident, get comfortable, and I'll still show you the process. And then this will be like a test run. Okay. So this is a mid form. This is not super long form, meaning long form could be more of like a 15-minute video, 20-minute. I mean, I've been going live for almost 45 minutes. That's long form. So this is just something still short, kind of to the point. Pick a topic. I would like this to simulate something you would actually post, even if you choose not to. So think of it of an IGTV, a Facebook video, YouTube video. Can you do a training? 3 or 5 tips. You're going to be surprised how much you know because you're talking about something that's in your industry and in your lane. If you do 3 tips in 3 minutes, like you're moving, okay? So it can be just super simple. Pick 3 tips for this, 3 strategies for this, the 3 mistakes people make. We love those things. You could also do it behind the scenes. If you own jewelry or you own t-shirts, you could show you don't even have to be talking in it if you really don't and you want this to be focusing on the product. Then start to finish, get the product, steam it, you're adding in the logo, you're adding, you're creating it, you're hemming it. Obviously, I know nothing about creating clothing, so insert the process here, show clips of it, and just have it be 3 minutes. It does not have to be pretty. It does not have to be edited, okay? This has to be just raw, at least talking or have a video running for 3 minutes, okay? Even if you filmed multiple clips and you just threw them all together in iMovie or an app just to have them there, that's also awesome. But don't edit it because I don't want you to have to do more work, and tomorrow we're gonna cover editing, okay? And then it could also be a vlog. You could take tonight into like partly tomorrow. Again, 3 minutes is not a long time. So you could even show your nighttime routine, the things you do to kind of wind down. What is like at the end of the day you always do, or at the top of the morning you always do. You can send at any point in the next 24 hours, and I'm going to give you real-time feedback. For the people who have submitted their homework yesterday, thank you. I'm going to be responding after this live to those because they were so amazing. I'm just so impressed. So I'm going to give you some real-time feedback and thank you for submitting. For this video, I'm going to see if I can figure out the Google Drive situation and have you be able to copy it and upload your video. If not, I might have you guys try and upload your video in the comments below. Or a third option, I'll give you an email address to send your videos to. So just make sure you look to the description and I will have a solution for today's homework assignment. You also can DM me. You can find me on social media and send it that way. Tag me if it is an actual post. However you can reach me with your video, I will give feedback, okay? Or story time. The last option is a story time or anything else. The possibilities are endless. You can have it be a video on anything. The goal is to have something that we can work with tomorrow to edit, okay? So I've taken enough of your time. I said this was going to be a short one, which is always hilarious. Kelly, you just bought the lav mic? Yes. Okay, now I'm excited. Hopefully that comes in pretty quickly, but I've already seen your videos and it hasn't stopped you from making them, so that's amazing. But that will be such a small thing that will just amplify your content. Okay, you have a webcam that you use at times, which is awesome, and it connects to your computer. I love that. See, that's another great option. If you're comfortable and you have a desk setting, just setting up your computer and letting it go. Again, these cameras really, really do the job. And again, we're trying to hit quantity, not over quality, but if you had to choose, I'd rather you have multiple videos that deliver value, even over them being in high quality. Okay. Kelly, love the comments, questions. Awesome. Thank you. If anyone else has questions, you can always pop them down in the comments below, and I will make sure to answer those. But you have your marching orders. I'm so excited to see these. Please submit them to me so I can give you feedback. But even if you don't, for tomorrow, come prepared, have a 3-minute video ready to go, and we'll be ready to edit. And it's going to be a good one. Tomorrow's going to be very like, a lot of like how-to training, which I think will be helpful for a lot of people. So remember that if you want to get your points, you can submit your homework down below. You can comment below, like these posts, ask questions, tag me, watch the lives, refer this group to a friend, and you can get all 3 of those prizes in the beginning. So don't forget about that. And I will see you tomorrow.